Tell us about the governor's prison realignment plan as you understand it at this moment.
Well, the state sheriffs have been working with the governor trying to address this $26 billion shortfall we have in the state budget. And one of his plans to address this was what they call the realignment. That's the taking of non-serious, non-violent, non-sex offenders, and instead of sentencing them to state prison, sentencing them to county jails. The state sheriffs worked with the governor in good faith, realizing that something has to give in this budget and that we're willing to take on this additional responsibility, but it had to come with additional money. I think at the local level, I think the sheriffs agree we can house these inmates and do a better job of housing them at a cheaper price than the state can, but we can't do it for nothing. And unfortunately, what happened with AB 109 was that the realignment part of our discussions took place, or it was signed, and by the governor without the necessary funding to go along with it. What the state sheriffs wanted was that, and I was very disappointed that our elected representatives in Sacramento couldn't come to some type of agreement to at least let the citizens of California vote on a constitutional amendment to see if they wanted to extend the current tax cuts, and then that money would be used to fund this realignment of inmates to county jails. Without that money, this program just won't work. Governor Brown, when he signed the bill, and he talked to me, called several sheriffs around the state just before signing the bill, and guaranteed that there would be no realignment without appropriate funding. And we discussed in that call that the funding has to be a continuous stream of funding, has to be through a constitutional amendment. Can't just fund it for 1 year and next year the money's gone. That will doom the program also. So he's going to keep working on that. I'm cautiously optimistic, a little discouraged at the same time.
Okay, who, excuse my ignorance here, but who decides who goes to a state prison right off the bat versus who goes to a county jail?
Right now, if you're sentenced to a year or less in state court, you go to a county jail. A year or more, you go to state prison. What the realignment proposal is to take the non-serious, non-violent, non-sex offenders and sentence them to county jails. This totals about, out of the total population of 170,000 inmates in the state of California, this would take about, right now, about 40,000 of those inmates and would put them in county jails. The plan, though, is to make this prospective. It's not to empty the prisons right away and put 40,000 inmates in county jails. As people are sentenced in the future for these offenses, they would go to county jail instead of state prison, which would eventually or gradually bring down the state prison population, save them money, because hopefully they would give us money to house them, which would be cheaper than housing them in a state prison.
Yes. Now, assuming you guys get the money for this, that seems to make more sense, wouldn't it, to put the 3 nons in the county jails as opposed to prison?
The state of California has not done a great job in taking care of state prisoners. They basically had to warehouse them because of the severe overcrowding situation. We have the highest recidivism rate in the United States of about 72%.
What?
So I think the county sheriffs will do a better job of programming these people, whether it's substance abuse, literacy training, job training, so that they will be better assimilated back into the community and be productive members of our community instead of just reoffending and going right back to jail. So that's what we're hoping the consequences will be of this realignment, but we can't make it successful without money.
Yeah. Now, is the overcrowding rate in the county jails here in San Diego? Do you guys have room to accept more people?
We have a little bit of room, but we have plans down the road the next 2, 3, 4 years to add additional capacity. We're building a new women's detention facility in Las Colinas, which will add 400 female beds to our population. And down the road, we have plans to add 1,000 men's beds down in Otay Mesa by taking back a private prison down there that's built on county land that's currently being run by Corrections Corporation of America. That will increase our overall capacity by about 1,500 beds come 2015. So if this is a gradual increase in our inmate population, we think we could be able to address it. But again, this is going to cost money. You can't do it for nothing.
Yeah, absolutely. And you just mentioned the private prisons, and we only got about 45 seconds or so, but how do private prisons fit in the situation here in San Diego?
Well, right now, the private prisons house federal inmates. No state inmates are in private facilities. That's a possibility, but the legislature would have to change some laws to address that situation, but they've been unwilling to do that so far. Some of the inmates, state prisoners are housed out of state in private private prisons, but none in the state of California.
Okay, so for this discussion, that's sort of not the issue right now. So
that's not the issue right now.
So we got to wrap it up, but just bottom line, it sounds like you're for the realignment, but you need some money to pay for it.
Well, yeah, it's a two-part equation.
Yeah.
You can't have realignment without the money coming with it.
All right, I like that. Our sheriff of San Diego County, Bill Gore, appreciate your time, and thank you for your service as well. Give my best to all your boys.
Thanks, Mike.
Have a wonderful day. Men and women, I should say.